Yeah, he said on the tweet, he actually put a tweet, and he said, my pops had a Playboy, and we seen the Playboy, and then my mom's had another magazine up top. And I guess the magazine that she had up top was dudes, gay dudes, serving each other. So he said that him and his, I believe he said like young, very young, and I don't want to get the age wrong, but because it's so young.
Yeah.
And if I get that wrong, then it's just weird, bro. Because it feels weird even talking about it. But his little cousin was very, very young, and so he started performing. They mimicked what they saw in his mom's magazine, and he started performing oral to his cousin up until his cousin was 14 years old, you know? And it's like, all right, bro, like that's fucking bananas. That's crazy. And I mean, there's I wonder if people will hear his music different now, because honestly, it's hard to unhear what he said in that. I mean, certain things in life I could most definitely have lived without knowing, you know, and that's one of the things right there, because I like the dude's music.
And
then now know that he's just a fucking, you know,
it's like weird and fucking.
Well, he's a cocksucker, bro. You know what I mean? He sucked his cousin's cock till he was 14 years old, bro.
Yeah,
you know, and he put that out there. Like, not a lot of rappers. Like, there's people in this world with skeletons in the closet, and some skeletons should be left in the closet.
Should have left.
I mean, how true do you think this is?
I think it's real. I think he's honestly. He just got off the phone with P. Diddy, bro. You know damn well that fool was serving Kanye, bro. You know, he was advocating for P. Diddy. He has his wife walking, or her, Bianca, she's been walking around half freaking naked, bro.
Yeah.
You know? And so he wants dudes to get aroused by his chick.
Yeah.
You know?
There's people with those fetishes, and it's fucking...
And Kanye is for sure one of those.
Yeah, and I just feel like mentally he doesn't have it all the way there. I've seen him. He's even done shit like Nas. Like, he's been. I don't know if you guys seen those clips, or was it Kanye West?
He was like
doing. He was getting like Nas from his dentist or some shit.
He was nosing out. Yeah.
And I just feel like the things that I've seen from him, I just feel like is a sign of just needs mental help. You know what I'm saying?
His mind is deteriorating.
His mind's not there. You could, like I said, you could have all the money in the world, but guess what? If your mind's not right, you could be fucking mentally fucked.
Mental health
It's real, and money doesn't solve all these problems, you know. So people got to realize, money isn't gonna fix everything. You know what I mean?
And he said his cousin is now doing life in prison.
Yeah, for apparently murdering a pregnant person.
Yeah, apparently murder.
And he believes it's due to...
You know, and
what was going on? I mean, it could play a part. I mean, when you're that young and you don't know what the fuck's going on, you got something weird like that happening to you, I believe it mentally can hurt you, you know, in bad ways long term. You know what I mean?
And that fool probably got a little Kanye West in his cell with him too right now, you know?
I mean, you're doing life. I mean, you don't got a choice. You already did it once, you know?
We need to hear from this cousin, man, because I think, honestly, at some point, partially, I think this is fake, and Kanye's just looking for some sympathy points after all the crap he's been talking about Jews and white supremacy and all this other stuff. I mean, he even went as far as after this tweet to say that Kendrick Lamar has no bars.
Well,
after rapping a song like this,
he just scored big points with the alphabet community. You know what I mean? They're going to be fucking running up his streams, you know? And now every gay man in the world wants to know, you know, what it'd be like getting his dick sucked by Kanye West, since he is a professional. You know what I mean? You know, so that's a lot of years of perfecting a craft, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely put in some work. Anything you do, you might be good at it for a while, you know? I mean, you work out for 5 years, you'll probably be good at working out, you know?
This one's not getting monetized at all.
This is a strange conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I tried to tell Lucky.
It's, you know what? It honestly,
he made me.
Honestly, no.
Lucky made me talk about this, dude.
Shut the fuck up. Did I hold you at dick point? Get the fuck out of here, bro. This really, really bothered me to hear this. Like, he said a lot of shit. And honestly, and then he did a song with saying it.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you have a snippet of that song?
No, I can't even play it here.
Bro, he's got auto-tune, and he's like, I dusted my cousin off till he was 14 years old. Like,
that's what I was trying to. I was originally kind of saying it in the cadence.
Bro,
when I started it.
It is just like, dude, the dude is out his fucking mind. And he is wow, dude. Man, poor kids, his kids, man. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's sad.
it's
sad.
really sad. As much as we laugh about it, but you still can't get over that. If it's true, he sucked the dick till he was
this shock factor is a little crazy.
Bro, it is just I'm telling you, man, it really bothered me to hear that.
Yeah, Lucky was bothered.
That's a uncomfortable topic, especially when it's kids. You know what I mean? Kids, you know what I'm saying? That's like you put those two conversations together, and it's instantly uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
That's why I think he's trying to get pity points.
He's trying to get pity points, or he's just very mentally just really not in tune with himself and off, you know?
Oh, so Casey, you think it's bullshit then?
Yeah, I think it's bullshit.
I think a lot of things he says is bullshit. A lot of times I see his tweets and
it's just like, to keep the attention.
Yeah.
Bro, what kind of attention are we trying to get now with a statement like that? But
that's something that is wild and it's gonna go viral.
Exactly.
And
that's
in the
all.
world of where everybody wants to go viral, it's a high. Now they'll do anything to go viral.
I mean, Kanye,
like fucking suck a dick, like he's fucking said, like he did. You know what I mean? Like
he's done the most to keep the name, people's name in his mouth, and now like that's why he's even telling you. Like I was even telling you, like, hey, people aren't even talking about this because they know Kanye West is just reaching.
Honestly, yeah, because I know it came out a little while ago, huh?
Yeah, they're not really talking about it.
No, nobody's talking about it because they know that he's just trying to fucking flare it up,
trying to throw it out there. He knows. I think because if you really think about it, like there's no songs of his new that are really coming out, and a lot of times I feel like as artists, as you know, with music, if you don't have no music that's popping, like
in the hip hop game, if you're not relevant,
you're not going to be relevant, and you slowly start falling off. You know, and then you got people like that try to keep themselves in the loop by doing all this crazy shit, and it really just, I mean, it backfires because now you just, even if you did have a good song, like let's say he has a good song now, you're not going to want to hear it.
Because you're going
to be thinking about some weird shit that he said, and it's like, fuck, now this song, I won't even play this shit. So you lose business that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he just closed the doors of easy fucking whatever.
Well,
easy industry.
It's just really bad, though, when you start smelling fucking cock breath out the speakers, you know what I mean?
You got to change the radio and shit, like, fuck.
Smells like dick in this whip. Or imagine you get in the whip and the homie all of a sudden busts that song on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, a banger,
bro. You're like, look at your homie, like, what the fuck you doing, fool?
And all of a sudden his hand ends up on your fucking thigh.
It's like, damn, somebody's getting packed out tonight. Hell no.
No, but apparently he bought like this warehouse in like this neighborhood of Los Angeles, and people are complaining and they're scared because they have now come to realize that that's Kanye West's complex, and they said they're hearing strange like noises coming out at night and stuff.
Man, you might have another Diddy situation happen. You never know.
Well, maybe this too. Speaking of Diddy, maybe I'm glad this is a good pivot. Maybe he's just letting you know what's going to come out in the Diddy case in the transcripts.
Maybe
that he was just getting pegged, bro. You know what I mean? You know, because they got a lot of information that they're about to release, and people are afraid of that, bro. They're afraid of his case because they're saying there's going to be a lot of celebrities that were going to these parties, his parties, the Diddy parties, bro.
Big celebrities.
Well, they were doing like kind of like the Epstein thing, which coercing people of influence into doing something. So then on the back end, they could say like, "Hey, we got this of you. You got to do this, or you got to do this."
Yeah,
almost like how they kind of got Shannon Sharp too. It's that easy. They just do it on a more sophisticated scale.
I think for the next few years, there's going to be a lot of shit that comes out with that story. It's going to be relevant for a long time because I think there's so much piled up that there's going to be so many different stories that are going to be out there for a long period of time. Because you know how it is with court and systems. They postpone it. It keeps going. So for years, they're going to be going through this, and there's going to be constant shit coming out, like, stories, and you probably make a fucking whole ass movie about it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
And why is this in recent times? Why is it all black dudes this is happening to right now?
Fuck, I don't know.
Is this popular culture or
yeah,
something?
because they were the head of the popular, because hip-hop was the most popular genre, which is basically holding the masses to whatever. I mean, everybody wanted to be rappers, wanted to rap like it, whatever. But whatever intelligence agencies didn't know how to maybe infiltrate that, so they got somebody who may have been Diddy to do some of the work that they needed.
But Shannon Sharp's a football player, and he's choking and slapping bitches. And
no, Shannon Sharp got by a 20-year-old girl. That motherfucker's just a retard.
Yeah, he got caught slipping.
Dog, that's
shit, man.
Caught slipping for sure, dog. Yeah, you got to always be on point. That's why, like, if you wouldn't do it in open doors, guess what? You shouldn't do it in closed doors, because whatever you do in closed doors, a lot of times that shit comes out. And you got to be willing to live with the consequence. You know what I'm saying? So that's why all around, no matter who's looking, what camera's on, you got to be the same person everywhere. Because if you're not, You get put on these situations where it's like, fuck, now everybody knows, and it's like, damn, all you had to do was not do it.
You know, you got a good head on your shoulders, bro, because when I was like, I was in prison at your age, but before that and after that age, when I was in the streets, I was trying to slay everything, you know what I mean? Maybe I was just trying to make up for lost time, but I'll say you got a good head on your shoulders because it seems like you kind of stable in that department.
Yeah,
you're not tripping like that?
Nah, I think I've been through a lot of things that just put like that perspective in front of me, and I feel like for me, just for some reason that topic's always just been kind of clear for me. You know what I mean? I think some things you just kind of comprehend and you catch on to, and then you realize that okay, this is how you got to move. For whatever it is, But this situation, I know that's one thing. Like whatever you do, you got to move like if the camera's on you 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to look at life. Like the camera's on you 24/7. And it's also being disciplined, just like not being a glutton with food. You can't be a glutton with women because you could potentially get yourself caught up. And that's
some shit. I've heard so many stories where people were lusting over women and they got themselves killed. Like I got homies that they got set up by females and shit like that. And it's all from that lust of you just can't control because you got to have every other fucking woman. And if you can't control yourself in that area, when it comes to that, you're bound to put yourself in a bad situation.
I mean, if you're with a female and you're not satisfied with that one female, then you might need to get a different female because she's not satisfying your needs, maybe, right?
But sometimes you got to remember when you're in that mind state and you're thinking like that, a lot of times you go out and you get another person and then you do what you do just to realize like it's all the same. You get what I mean?
You're the problem.
You're the problem, and you're over lusting. Anybody could overlust. Like you could overlust so easily, especially with social media. How we talked about with all the fake stuff going on. It's very easy to just go on your phone and just start lusting on it. So I don't do shit like that. I'm not on my phone lusting over shit. Why? Because the moment you do it, then you're gonna have a problem with it. So it's the same thing. Like if you're trying to fuck with every other female, you're going to end up having a problem with it. And guess what? You're going to have to get rid of that problem eventually because that doesn't last, right? I mean, at the end of the day, when we're 50, 60, what do we want to do? We want to be grandparents, you know what I'm saying, right? You want to be with your lady. You want to have your grandkids. So you got to understand, like, chasing that life now is just going to lead you to nowhere. At the end of the day, you don't want to be 60 fucking everybody.
There you go.
Yeah, guys, so if anybody's an OnlyFans person and, they're trying to get with you, just turn the other way.
Hey, straight up, honestly, my advice to people is, for men, go to the woman that's quiet in the corner, minding her business, and pursue it. Find the right person for your life, man.
There's a lot of good girls still here, man.
Yeah, right? there is, but it's just about, you got to be the right person yourself.
Yeah.
See, the problem with people is so many people come to me and they complain about relationship advice. But when I look at them as a person, as their habits, how they take care of themselves, their financial situation, they're not someone that's going to attract the right person. How are you going to attract the right person if you're not the right person yourself? You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be in tune with yourself. I've said that like 4 times on this podcast. If you're not in tune with yourself, you're not going to find the person you're meant to be with. The moment you find your person, you find yourself, then the person's going to come into your life that fits into you. Because the fucked up thing about when you meet somebody and you're not in tune with yourself, you might get in tune with yourself and find out that's the person you don't want to be with.
Yeah.
Because you leveled up your life so much, this person didn't, and now you're thinking differently, and you're like, oh, damn, now I got to go through this. Now you got to go through another heartbreak because you jumped into some shit when you weren't fully who you needed to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm big on find yourself. Then when you find yourself, everything else slowly starts coming full circle. You know what I'm saying?
There it is right there. Coach Banner. Good shit, Casey. We gone.